All right, welcome everybody. Trading week over. Ended on a good day. Ended on a good day in the stock market. Ended on a good day in Bitcoin. Ended on a good day with the Bitcoin miners, other than one or two oddballs. Some big stuff happened today. Hope everybody had a good day. Let me know in the chat if you guys made money today. I did buy one thing, so I bought one. I opened a new position today.
And
oh,
what
let me
was
get
it?
George. He's all right. I just flipped over so they can see you. George was on a conference call, so now he's in. We're just saying hello. Good morning. Not good morning. Good afternoon. All right.
Can you believe the company did the right thing? But go on.
You're up. I can see you. You're live.
Oh, good. I just can't believe that people are doing the right thing. This is crazy to me.
What are
You
they
know?
doing?
They're doing the right thing. You know how my office flooded and they were saying, "Oh, it's covered by your insurance, yada yada yada," which you know it was. He's like, "Look, can we split it?" I said, "Absolutely, we can split it." So,
Nice.
yeah, I'll take that as a win.
It's always a nice surprise when
Dude,
somebody does the right thing.
I guess I should wait until there's more people on. Just remember MC George.
MC George. We'll wait for it. Oh, yeah. We got to wait for that for a little while. For sure.
MC George. So, Tom, I told you there'd be movement today. I just didn't know which way it was going.
That's what you've been saying all week. The 5th, you didn't want to make any moves until today.
Yeah.
Well, here is today. And, I mean, we had a nice couple of moves to the upside. It was a good day across the market. First of all, I'm going to get to the big news of the day, and then I'm going to tell you, for those of you who don't already know, I'll tell you why it's total BS. This is another laugher. It's just ridiculous. The news is now, I'm sorry, it's a joke. It's almost like they're clowning us, you know, and laughing about it. It's crazy.
No, I want to know. I've been working all day, so I haven't been in the know.
It's like, we all have a brain, you know?
I'm
gonna, yes, you do. It has to do with the job numbers that came out today. So I'm going to get to that. I'll read the report, and that was like the big front. I'm going to go, right now, I'm going to go, if I go to, let me go to Yahoo's front page, and I could do, stocks surge after strong jobs report as banks rebound. Jobs report, stunning beat. It was stunning. It was a stunning beat on the jobs report. So let's remember that. And then we'll go through the jobs report and see if that makes any sense. And you can see, look at this. I mean, the S&P was up 1.85, the Dow 1.65, the NASDAQ was up 2.25, the Russell 2.39. Those are huge moves to the upside. Oil was up a little, but it's pulled way, way back. So, you know, it's back over $70, but that's still low. So massive run for all of the exchanges. In addition to that, I mean, Bitcoin ran up a couple percent today as well. So this was from the orange line, is always, of course, from when the equities markets closed yesterday to the equity markets closing today. Bitcoin was up 2.35%. So this was a 2 to 2.5% move across the board. Most of the Bitcoin miners were a very nice leveraged play on that. We got the price action we were supposed to today, unless you were Cipher. Do me a favor, drop in the comments if you know what happened with Cipher today, because they had low volume, no news, and they were doing just fine, and then they tanked on low volume, which is weird. Other than that, Mawson was down 3%, and that's really it. Nothing else. Everything else was green. And, you know, a lot of the bigger ones were double, triple, quadruple leverage off of Bitcoin today. So that's the way this is supposed to work with the Bitcoin miners.
I think you need to do the poll right now.
The poll?
35 or 25.
Oh, here we go.
Or stay the same. I think this could be now I'm calling it. It's going to be the run to the 40s. Not financial advice. My opinion. Don't you? What do you think, Tom? Well, you don't might not want to say yet.
We're gonna say next move this weekend,
Yeah,
or next
no,
move
in
overall.
the next overall this month.
Sorry, just typing. Takes me a second. And go. All right. So the poll is up. Bitcoin's next move this month. So we're still debating May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, full moon, I think, if my sources are correct. So is Bitcoin's next move up to 35,000? Are we finally going to make this break, or back down and retest 25,000, or are we just going to keep going sideways? Sideways has been the right answer for a little while, but yeah, I'll tell you my answer after, but I bet most of you guys know what I think. I'll let the vote continue, though, without any bias. Martin's asking, why is Cipher down today? I don't know. I took a quick look. I looked at their volume, and I looked for any news, any filings. I didn't see anything at all. I'm going to go there right now because, I mean, this was some low volume action.
It's a tricky job report. Dude, I'm excited, by the way.
You're excited? What are you excited about?
The thing.
Oh!
MC. It's probably going to be nothing, by the way. I'll probably never even, like, get on stage. Oops. Saying too much.
So here's Cipher today. In a green day, we just looked at everything. Everything was green today. The Bitcoin miners were a leveraged green play to the upside. Cipher on, so their average volume is 1.5 million, which is low. I mean, they're only a $2 stock. So this is, this is not trade. We'll put it in perspective and look at Marathon and Riot after this. But this is very low volume to begin with. And then it was even lower volume today. They just got over 1 million shares traded. So, only about $2 million went in and out of this thing all day today. And it just drifted. You could see it was fine until after lunch, and then boom, it just drifted down for no reason that I can find out. There's one little volume spike here, but that didn't really change the momentum of things. So I have no reason why this drifted down other than that's just what happened. Let me know if you guys know of a reason, because to me this was, if you've been looking for an opportunity to get into Cipher, and I'm not, but if you have been, this would be one. Because I didn't see any reason for this pullback. In general, my reason would be that I think Cipher was a little overheated. I've been saying that for 2 or 3 weeks. Doesn't mean I don't think it's a good company. I think they're a good company. I think it's a great buy and hold, but I do think they got a little overheated. All right, let's see. Hello, everybody. Hello, Sour Melon Gaming. Wolf has a market cap almost 100 million more than Bitfarms. I just don't understand it, Tom. Well, all I can say is wait for it, and Bitfarms did have a good day today. Bitfarms was up 7.4% on the day today. That gets them to $1.16. So the move that I've been predicting, not financial advice, I am expecting Bitfarms to run up to $1.50 this month. So we'll see if that happens, but that's my expectation. That move, in my opinion, should happen quickly. Maybe this was the start of it, but I do think in order for that to happen, I think Bitcoin needs to set a higher local high, which means we need to get back above that 31,000. So for as long as we keep floating between 28,000, 29,000, we're now at 29,500. If we can push, if next week we're bopping between 30,500 and 31,500, I think Bitfarms is going to make its run. That's just my opinion.
Oh, so we agree. Wow.
We agree?
Yeah, I think we agree on this one now.
Let's
That's
see.
a crazy one.
Miguel said weekend pump. Let's go.
Yeah, I think 30 is. We should be looking at that soon.
Keith,
Maybe before the end of
hello?
the stream.
Yeah, it's possible. We're in striking
Yeah.
distance. $500, and we could be at 30. Is this blue dotted line right here? So let's see if we can get to that by the end of the stream. That would be.
Hang on. Let me text somebody real quick.
Gonna make a few calls.
No, I just one text. That's just a few coins. I'm not worried.
Hello, Gorilla. Hello, Space Oddity. Hello, Organic Auto. Hello, Martin. His Honor.
Hang on.
I'm
He
expecting.
thinks we can get it to 30,200. That's what he said. So,
All right, let's do it.
let's do it.
Let it be done.
Oh God, what a great week. Not really, but that's what I gotta tell myself.
It's over. Darren
So-
says, happy Friday. Happy Friday to you.
TGIF. So Tom, talk to me about the banks.
Ha. Funny you should mention the banks. A funny
Talk
thing.
to me about the banks.
Funny thing happened on the way to the banks crashing today, and that is that Pac West was up 81% today.
Are you kidding me?
So, I mean, this just
Could
barely.
it have been FUD?
I mean, look, it's not even where it was. It's up 81% today, and it's not back to where it was 2 days ago. So that's how much it crashed in the middle. So, but if you happen to be day trading this thing,
Wow.
you are minting either losing all your money or minting money. You know, if you're getting this trade right.
81%.
So this, I think, is the number one on the list of next to go. But it was up 81% today. But I'm just saying it could be down 60% on Monday. That's the way this is going. The other one, Western Alliance.
They gotta love this.
Up
They have to love this.
49% today.
You realize they just gotta love this. They are
But
just making so much money.
I'm going to do the 5-day in this little chart right here, and you're going to see it's still not back to where it was. Right, so see, this was 2 days ago. It was at 31. It's up almost 50% on the day today, and it's still not even back to where it was on Wednesday. So these are going to be some wild, wild rides. These were the two most dramatic. Let me know if there was another one out there. You can see Zion was up 19%. Comerica 16, but this is so the banks had a little bit of a recovery for no reason. No reason. In my opinion, there's no logic to that. The bank situation still looms out there. You know, what ends up happening, I don't know, but things did not get better today. There was nothing today that I can point to that
I'm
says
sure
things got
something
better.
happened. I'm sure something happened. I'm sure they got more money or
You think behind the scenes?
Yeah, absolutely. Come on.
Well, I mean, look, this is why I say that.
Well, they got 1.5 billion like the other day for like 30 days to keep them afloat. And I heard the phone call was I'm going to need more.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
We're going to need a bigger boat. My whole problem is starting June 1st.
Starting
Or whenever the is it the 8th or something like that, we run out of money in the federal government.
Oh,
And FDIC is basically BK, bankrupt. So everybody says your money's insured. I don't agree with that, but you got the full I can see Biden. It's not a joke. We got the full-fledged American government behind this dollar.
my counterpoint to that would be, regardless of what the FDIC does, I do think the Fed, and regardless of the fact that Jerome Powell said the opposite, I think the Fed will not let people
it fail.
They won't let people lose their deposits, in my personal opinion. They will continue to let banks fail and have the equity holders lose all their money. So, you know, if you're playing the trade from the equity standpoint, I think you're at major risk. But I still don't think, I mean, obviously the rules are the rules. So technically, if you have over 250,000, you're at risk. But I just don't see them letting that happen. It would undermine the system so dramatically.
I I'm laughing because I'm putting two to two together from last week's stream. I'll tell you about it off air, but it's like sometimes I amaze myself. Um, no, but I think, but it's an issue, Tom. Would you agree with that?
The banks,
Yeah, and
your
not being.
deposits.
Let's put it this way: nothing is 100%. How about that?
That's absolutely correct. We don't know. Nothing's 100%. I have a high level of confidence that they're going to secure all depositors, but you don't know. I mean, there was never a promise of that. I think it's 250,000. I'm 250,000.
Yeah, 250.
You're insured up to that, and there's never been, it's never been said out loud that you're insured beyond that. But I feel like it's always been assumed that, listen, even if you have more than that, the Federal Reserve's not going to let you lose your money in a bank, especially not a mid to large size bank. Confidence in the banking system is crucial, and if people are losing their money in a bank, the potential run on all the banks is on, and then they go from a medium problem to an extra large problem. So I just don't think they'll let that happen. I think the Fed can print as much money as they want. They have no limit. They have an infinite balance sheet.
Infinite.
But again, I think that stockholders, all these people who bought, where is that? All these people who bought this up today, up 81%. I think if you're holding it up here, I'd be worried. I'd love to be the guy that sold it at $5.76, not the person who bought it at $5.76.
You know what's real funny is that somebody made that trade and they're like, yes, I made $20 or I made 20%, and they're like, I did so good, and then they just kept watching it go up and up and up and up. Can they stop a stock from going up? Like, would they stop the trading?
Yeah.
If it's gone too parabolic?
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
They halt. They can't stop it permanently, but they halt it for periods of time. That did happen with, who was it?
I know who it was, but I wasn't saying any names.
I think GameStop.
What happened with DWAC too, if you remember?
Oh, did it? Yeah,
yes, it did.
I remember that was very, very volatile those first couple of weeks, but there was a day where they stopped. GameStop was going to. It was over 500 in pre-market trading. It was that could have gone. That was one of the true, and that was the meme situation / short squeeze, beta squeeze, whatever you want to call it, squeeze of whatever type you would like. They had to put the brakes on that, or there's just no telling. And there were a lot of people. That was one of the most shorted stocks out there. So if you shorted that at $5, and all of a sudden it popped up to $1,800 or $3,000, that could have happened for 5 or 10 minutes. But so they stopped that, and they stopped it dead in its tracks because it turned right as soon as there was a halt. It turned right around and started going down big time. So
go ahead. I think my only point with the banks would be this. I don't think that it could ever, go to zero, the value of the dollar. I just don't. Or if it does, it would take such a long period of time that you would know about it. At least everybody watching this stream would. My only point is this. It could be so you can't get your money out for a little while. That is a real possibility.
Yeah, liquidity.
Yeah, that could be like, what I mean, a serious issue.
And that is a big thing. When the Silicon Valley Bank failed, remember, over the weekend, they met on Saturday and Sunday, so that by Sunday night they had an announcement, all your funds will be available Monday morning, to avoid just what you just said, because that's the disaster scenario. Even if they're not defaulting on it, if the liquidity dries up, that could cause a similar level of panic. Nobody wants to go to the bank and have them say, your money's here, you just, you can't have it right now.
Oh, did you hear our newest neighbor, Tom?
I did
Down
not.
here? He was flying his plane the other day. Just got it done being remodeled. People would be interested to know who it is. Actually, we should see if we should play a game and figure out if anybody can figure out who it is.
Guess who's our new neighbor here in Southwest Florida?
Yep.
I don't know the answer. I don't think so.
I would say that it's... I mean, he's got to be in the top 10 most famous people in America, at least.
Well, that narrows it way down, theoretically.
Yeah, that's... You know? I mean, he's huge.
You would think
whether you and I'll let you know whether it's a he. Whether you like him or not, I mean, everybody I think appreciates his acting abilities. How about that?
So it's an actor.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got an actor.
Let's put it this way: when Hut moves to Florida, they're probably going to want to live here because of this person.
What?
Let's put it this way. I would say that women go gaga over him.
Has anybody guessed? I'm not caught up. Okay, we got
Trump,
Travolta.
Travolta lives up
that's
in
a great
Ocala.
guess, Travolta.
Travolta lives up a little higher in Ocala, where he has a double hanger to his own private house.
Oh, Jacob, rebuttal to you. The dollar absolutely can and will go to zero. All fiat in history has gone to zero.
I wasn't going to say that. I knew that, by the way, but I was true. Tom was saying like opposite, so I was like, oh, I guess
you got to qualify that. Is it going to go to zero 300 years from now? I mean,
oh, you're right, right.
Well, I'm talking about the next foreseeable, my investment lifetime.
Right.
So I would say that the chances of the dollar going to zero in my investment lifetime are infinitesimal.
Right, yeah.
You can't say they don't exist. Anything can happen, but it's something not worth putting on the radar. Now, someday, is it going to be worth zero? I guess that's true. All things come to an end, ultimately. So,
well, and I would say this. If it does, we got other problems to worry about, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, the last thing you're going to be worried about is your money and or stock portfolio.
Yeah, that's going to be the last thing. Yeah.
Hello, Craig. Welcome, Craig.
Hey, Craig. So anyways,
Ed is saying, seriously, you think they just stopped GameStop for a day? That's all that happened? No, I know that the GameStop thing played out for, over a year. I'm just saying there was a particular moment when the wheels were coming off. So there was one day where they shut it down, like at the open. They shut it down, they shut it down, they shut it down. But obviously, that is a long, complicated story. So you can add to it in the chat if you want, Ed, and let us know more of your thoughts on what else went on there.
You can continue the chat on Discord.
Indeed. You can. You're all welcome to our free Discord. We also have a members-only Discord. There's a lot of members on today that I see, so I want to thank all the members for being members and supporting. I just put a link for those of you who are not members. It's only $5 a month. It helps support the channel, and you get a bunch of stuff with it, including a members-only chat where we don't have, or I'm sorry, Discord, where, our regular Discord's nice, but it's very overcrowded, and there's a lot of trolls. So by the time you get to the other one, it seems like we're having a much more real conversation there. That's all I would say. We got another guest, Brad Pitt.
No, I don't know where he lives.
Cosmic Contrarian. We are not in Cali. We are in Southwest Florida.
Craig called it.
Tom Cruise. All right.
Yeah. So he just got a P-51 Mustang. He just renovated it. And it was so cool watching it take off. It was so cool.
Somebody's letting me know the left side of my screen is getting cut off, and I would love to fix that. I just have absolutely no idea how to do that. If
really
tech
kind
support happens to be listening to the stream, we're a bit askew, if you will. Mr. J, boo. Who are we booing? Me, George, Tom Cruise? My screen being off center?
Well, I mean, regardless if you like him or dislike him, you know, I refrain from my opinion. I mean, it's impressive what he's done. You got to give him credit for that. You know, and he does his own stunts, which is also pretty cool.
I won't even get into his personal life, and
Yeah.
I try to do this with all actors. I try my best to separate their personal life from
Right.
their acting ability. Otherwise, you know, it's going to ruin all the movies for me. So I try to just compartmentalize. So to me, I know there's, you know, I wouldn't even comment on his personal life. Any guy plus or minus a few years of our age likes Tom Cruise. They spent their whole life going to Tom Cruise movies. That's just the way it is. I don't know how the women feel, but other than I think one or two people on here, we don't have any women. So, you know, most of you guys, you know, let us know if you don't like Tom Cruise, but I would be willing to bet. I mean, we're the demographic. And I will admit, I've seen almost every one of them. And I'm not saying they were all great. There was a few in there I could have lived without, but
I didn't know he was so tiny.
well, compared to you,
Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, I guess everybody. But I mean, he was a tiny little guy. He's like a Napoleon. You know?
he's not a tall individual. That is true.
Tiny. You say not tall. I say tiny.
He actually grew up near us, you know.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Where?
I think Syracuse?
You're kidding me. He's from the Q's?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. He's a 315er, isn't he?
In the middle, in between, of course, he was nowhere near us for the rest of his whole life. But
Oh, I wonder if that's why he moved down here, because I'm here.
Ray said, I
Righteous-
like Rain Man. Yeah, I mean, Rain Man's a classic.
It was a classic.
Miner Doc said, have you guys not been following the increase in gas fees from the BRC20 tokens and their effect on miners? Increase in revenue per block. So, yeah, I've been seeing the gas fee. What were they saying? There was a reason it was spiking. There was one particular thing that was, and I'm sure it's a number of things, but yeah, I have been seeing that. So it's minus 10% in revenue per block. That surprises me. That doesn't make sense to me, but, you know, I guess I'm not saying it's not true. It just doesn't make sense to me. 10%, negative 10% on the addition that they get paid or on the actual block itself? Because I thought they just got that straight up. Nothing, you know, because they're mining it from the ether, if you will. Sour Melon Gaming, I'm going to be in Tampa in 2 weeks for work. I'm sure I'll be close. Well, if you got an extra day, you can swing over to Miami for the Bitcoin conference.
Yeah. But that's not next week.
She said 2 weeks for... Oh, I don't know, 2 weeks from now or for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's the 18th through the 20th.
JD said the economy is turning me into Rain Man.
Definitely.
Fable, sorry if I mispronounced that, said some actors are scams just like some altcoins. Miner Doc, ordinals. Yes, the ordinals. Oh, Miner Doc is saying an increase of 10%. Thank you for the clarification.
I didn't hear
That
about
makes
this
more
time.
sense.
Everything's been going up. Okay, so
all-
Tom, somebody wrote something about Iris.
Ah,
Could be, it was looking interesting.
well, for those of you who have not watched my video that I put out earlier today, I did an Iris video today,
Oh, did you?
and in my opinion, they crushed it. So I did do a deep dive. We can talk about that a little bit. And at the time I was making the video, everything was green, and Iris Energy was deep into the red. It was fluctuating anywhere from down 5% to down 8%, while everything else was super green. And you know, you'll watch in my video. I say I don't understand what's going. I bought that today. So earlier I told you I did buy one thing today. I bought Iris because they were red on the best monthly operational report they've ever had by far, not even close. And this seems to be a theme with the Bitcoin miners. So, you know, all I can tell you, you know, not financial advice, but I would trust your own gut. Like, I read that thing and it was very obviously excellent news, yet the stock was tanking. So, you know, I bought it and now it did. And in the video, I said, even though it's down so drastically right now, I would not be surprised if it's green by the end of the day. And sure enough, it finished up 4.48%. So, you know, why for the first 3 hours it was upside down? I don't know. That was absolutely baffling to me. But you got to jump on those, you know, if you see them.
So, CleanSpark. I pick who would be the first 10x from today, where they are today.
The first 10x? Man,
and
that's such
Stephanie Steven was 10, was CleanSpark. So that would be 40. Where do you think the price of Bitcoin has to get, Tom, for that to get there?
I mean, certainly for most of these to 10x, Bitcoin needs to get to an all-time high. And I say most, and I'm counting from where they are right now, not from the bottom. From the bottom, almost every single one of these will 10x long before then. Most of these have already 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6x'd already. So, you know, you missed a part of the run. Or you caught it if you were in, which I know a lot of you guys were in a lot of these stocks and did catch a lot of this run-up. Sai is saying, waiting for CleanSpark monthly update. That one's coming over the weekend. That was going to be today, but I just had to do Iris Energy. When I saw them in the red this morning, I just couldn't believe my eyes. So I switched and I did Iris. But I will do CleanSpark tomorrow.
What happened with Iris?
They put out their monthly operational report. We can go through it. I mean, in my opinion, it was an excellent report. So all the top 5 Bitcoin miners mined less this month than last month. Iris Energy mined 85% more than they did in the previous month. So in an
somebody
environment,
went up.
Yeah, well, yeah, and they're doing exactly what they said they were going to do. And if you guys watch me and if you watched my videos, you know that's one of the most important things for me. Are they doing what they said they were going to do? Are they sticking to their plan, or do they continue to make excuses for why they're falling off their plan? You know, everybody misses a deadline here or there, so it's not like one strike and you're out. But if you are consistently missing what you're doing, then that's who you are. If you're consistently doing what you say you're going to do, then that's what you are. And to me, Iris Energy is doing that. And I did do the deep dive is worth watching because they've taken a journey. In my mind, they should 10x. I'm not saying they're going to be the first ones to 10x. They've already had some nice run up, but they so drastically changed their situation, maybe more so than any other of the 18 Bitcoin miners that I follow, for the better, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know why Marathon lagged a little bit today, although it was a little bit ahead yesterday and a little bit behind today, but, you know, it was green. And Riot, which is the largest market cap, was up 6.5%, so that's a big move. And CleanSpark continues to move. It was up 5.26%. Bitfarms had a good day. Hut had a good day. Bit Digital was up 5%. Stronghold was up almost 10%. So, I mean, a lot of these had very good days. Cosmic Contrarian saying, yes, Bitcoin would have to surpass all-time high for that to happen. I agree. His Honor, Hut has been acting a little better lately. Any thoughts on why? The stock is acting a little bit better. I don't know. And they are, by the way, the last Bitcoin miner out of the top 10 that has not put their monthly operational update out. So all the other ones have, and a bunch of the ones that aren't even in the top 10 have put their monthly operational report out for the month of April, and Hut has not. Now, I have unbelievably low expectations for their April operational report as far as their Bitcoin mining goes. It is obvious to me that right now they are focused on other things completely, and they're going to get back to that when and if this merger happens. And if it doesn't happen, then my guess is I feel like they'll be doing something else sooner than later, but that's just my guess.
Sooner than later. Tom, what'd you decide? Did you reach out to anybody about tickets for Bitcoin or no?
No, I'm not going to call people and ask them for a ticket.
Dude, give me their numbers. I'll call. Are you just going to go and buy one? What are you going to do?
Just buy a ticket.
Oh, what fun is that?
If somebody emails me that they got an extra ticket, that's what happened. Somebody had an extra ticket, and so.
Even though you had a ticket. See, now
yeah,
this time
and I had
wait.
a ticket that time.
Right. Now this time we're waiting. This time we're waiting, and that's. Ugh.
See, that's exactly how it happens.
I was like, dude, somebody will call you, and then so Tom's like, oh. So I have a question, just because I'm who I am.
You are who
What
you are.
happens if Bitcoin come the halving of April next year is only like $30,000 or 20? How about yes, between 25 and 30, like it is now? What happens?
Let's just say there's our new business we should open should be a sign making company that makes going out of business signs.
Really?
That would be what I think would happen in that instance. Most of this list, in my opinion, would not last. They're not all going to fold the day of the halving, but if that holds true for 4, 5, 6 months after the halving, if we're at Bitcoin 25 to 30,000, the vast majority of these companies, in my opinion, will be gone. It just simply will not be worth doing at that point. The economics on this will have failed so miserably. That doesn't mean they'll all be gone, and there'll still be potentially some winners, especially as people start to go away. The network difficulty level will go down drastically if that happens. So, there'll be that balance, but the network difficulty's got to cut. It's already doubled, so it's got to cut back in half just to get where we were. So you've got the network difficulty already doubling. Then you're going to have the reward getting cut in half, and you're going to have Bitcoin. It's going to be cost. At this pace, by the time the halving occurs, after the halving, it's going to be, people are going to be paying between $20,000 and $35,000, $20,000 and $35,000 per coin if the network stays about the size that it is right now. So, if Bitcoin's at 25,000, it just doesn't work. And they've already played out their hand. They've already survived an entire crypto winter. So, they begged, borrowed, and stealed their way through a pretty brutal crypto winter. So, if the next thing that happens after a crypto winter is another crypto winter, I mean, at some point, I'd throw in the towel. I'll be out. I can tell you right now, I am extremely bullish on Bitcoin. I don't think that what George is saying is going to happen. But if Bitcoin is still trending around 25 to 30,000, I will be giving up by then and getting out. And I'm about as bullish as anybody on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. So I guess I
guess time will tell.
Association, that means that I believe Bitcoin will be going up substantially more than that. But you're right. Only time will tell. We don't know. I don't know. Anything could happen. All right, we're asking for a new poll. I think we got 88 votes on this poll, so I think we got a pretty definitive answer. In first place by a mile, so we remain bullish. 74% think Bitcoin to 35,000. That's the next move. 10% think we have to retest 25,000. So that number's getting smaller and smaller. And then going sideways, there's 16% that think we're going to just keep doing what we've been doing for a while now. And that is possible. So I think those are pretty fair results. I would vote 35,000, just so you know. If I could vote, that would have been my vote. I think that I think
you got it. I mean.
So, George, that's your vote, too.
Yeah, 35.
Bitcoin
35. I mean, I'm still not saying we're out of the woods forever, but I'm at least saying that we're sitting in a good scenario.
This is the next move. This is the next, 30, 60 days. What happened, your scenario, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but basically your position's been you think after the pump, we're going to have a dump.
Yeah.
And maybe even retest or break through some of those low numbers we were at.
I mean, I hope not, but I mean, I hope not. That's all I can say.
All right, so that poll is over. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Oh, I have not done my normal thing. If you could please smash the like button, I would appreciate it. It helps the live stream a lot. We have 46 likes. We're going for 100 likes. We did get, the last time I was like, all good things come to an end. We didn't get to 100, but then somehow the last comment was, hey, we got to 100, and we were at 100. So I don't know what happened. So thanks, everybody, for pressing the like button at the last second, apparently, to get us to 100. And if you have not pressed it, if you could please do so now. It helps out the live stream a lot, and it's much appreciated.
What else, Tom? So talk to me more about banks.
Shall we go through this jobs report, because this is a simple thing, and I'm just saying.
Explain it to me like I know nothing, because it's not very hard to do.
This is put in very simple terms that you will understand, and everybody will understand whether they follow the jobs report or not. So the headline is here, and this was the headline. This happens to be on Yahoo, but this was the theme across the board today. Jobs report. April jobs report shocks with 253,000 jobs created. Unemployment falls, and you're going to see it fell to 3.4%. So here's the thing. The April jobs report showed the U.S. labor market remains robust with more than 250,000 new jobs added to the economy last month as the unemployment rate fell to match its lowest level since May of 1969. The U.S. economy added 253,000 non-farm payroll jobs last month, with the unemployment rate unexpectedly dropping to 3.4%. The expectation was 3.6% and something like 168,000 jobs, I believe. That was the expectation. So they beat. It was more than that, 178 maybe. They beat by, well, I'll keep reading. Here, 185. So they got 253,000 versus 185,000, right? So big beat. Yay to us. Congratulations. Unemployment. Let's get her out of here. Unemployment 3.4% versus the expected 3.6. Average hourly earnings month over month up 0.5 versus 0.3. So that is good. Average hourly earnings year over year, 4.4 versus 4.2. So everything beat by a little bit. Average weekly hours worked, 34.4. That hit expectations. But here's the deal. So we beat by, what is this? Right, 68,000 jobs. So, okay. We got, right, 50, 53, 60. Oh, what is that? 73,000? What am I doing the math wrong? 78,000? Now I got to do the math. 53. Yeah, 68,000. Okay, so that was this month. That was April. But every single month they revised the two previous months. So Friday's jobs report also showed wage growth stronger than forecasted. Okay. Unemployment gains in March, however, so now we are now revising. So remember, this number that we just got today, next month is going to get revised. So here's what happened. Unemployment gains in March, however, were revised lower to show 165,000 jobs were created during the month, 71,000 fewer than previously reported, and February gains were revised lower to 248,000 from 326,000, making job growth over that 2-month stretch lower than previously reported by 149,000 jobs. But so that's 149,000 lower than reported. We beat by 68,000, and they're saying jobs went up. No, we lost 100,000 jobs versus where we thought we were. Right? Because you can't. Because last month we all celebrated. So last month we celebrated, hey, great jobs report. And now it's a month later and they're going, by the way, it was wrong. And, it's 71,000 fewer than we had reported. So that could very well happen to this job. And if the same exact thing happens to this report, then it's going to hit expectations instead of beating. So these numbers, some of the, it's a constant flow of numbers that are thrown at us. And I will just tell you, this one included, and almost this one in particular, several of these data points, in my mind, are almost worthless. And any of them that get revised going back 1 or 2 months, and the revisions are significant, which these regularly are significant, and these are jobs last month, 149,000 jobs over a 2-month period. So that's, these mean that's outside of any reasonable margin of error to the point where, to me, this report means nothing. They could just put a bunch of numbers on a dartboard, throw a dart at the board, report that, and then next month when you actually have the information, say, oh, we were off by 30,000. So that's why I think today was nonsense. So the stock market raged on this news. So let's all remember, let's mark the day, and we'll revisit this next month and see, was this really 253,000, or were they wrong again, as they are every month?
What would be the reason for that, Tom? Why would they want it to be wrong?
I don't know if they want it to be wrong. I'm not saying it's manipulated. I'm just saying that it does get revised, and the revisions tend to be significant on this report. So it's not a reliable number.
No, my question was, why do you think they do it? Why do you think... Or do you think it's just an accident? I mean,
they refine the data as more data comes in, and they're able to parse through the data. They feel like they have a more accurate number 30 days later, and so they put out the number, as revised with the latest and greatest information. So, I mean, they do have a process they go through, but obviously what that process means, if you're missing by a material amount on the announcement day, every single time or the majority of the times, that means you shouldn't announce it. That means that first number they announced doesn't mean anything. I'm not sure the second number means anything because now 2 months ago they still had to adjust it significantly. So I ignore this. The market did not ignore this, and you got to play the market. So you got to acknowledge it. This happened, and because this happened, all we have to do is look. The market was on fire today. So
Bitcoin will dump, Chris. Bitcoin will dump just before the Bitcoin conference. History will repeat itself. I guess that's what everybody's been saying about the conference. Well,
there's no hype around this conference. Period. I mean,
there isn't any.
Missing it. There's no hype.
It seems like it was more hype last year than this year.
There was huge hype last year.
And I mean, wouldn't you think we would know more about it? I mean,
yeah, it's been very low key.
I'm more involved than you guys know about in the Bitcoin conference too. And it's just been, and it's been very mundane. And I don't want to say anything because I almost ripped on them last year, but I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing this year if I did. So I understand. But if you have a question to ask Michael Saylor, please let me know.
If you have anything specific.
MC.
And while you're at it, if you could smash the like button It would be much appreciated. I think we're getting blocked again, George. We hit 100 concurrent viewers, and then it turned around.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
Was it my rant?
Yeah,
on
it
the
might have
jobs
been.
report. They didn't like that.
I bet you it's about the jobs report.
Well,
you know
sorry. The truth hurts.
No, the truth gets you shadow banned. You know?
Keith said it's a con job. It's the jobs report.
I think what we have to start doing is whatever we believe, we have to say the opposite. So if you think it's a con job, then you say, I'm really impressed on how accurate the numbers can be for the unemployment numbers. And then we're all know, right?
We're gonna have we gotta have opposite code.
Yeah, opposite code. Employing opposite code.
No, we can't. That can't be the code to deploy the code because it just tells you we're doing opposite.
Oh.
So we need like a buzzword. You know, like
Rain Man. What is it? I really Judge Wapner? Was it Judge Wapner? How about maybe we should
Wapner.
Oh, that's a good one. Mr. J said the Jim Cramer code.
Jim Cramer code. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Everybody will get that.
The Jim Cramer code. And now implementing JCC. What's Ted doing? Hang on a second. Hang on, I gotta step away.
Step away. We'll do our next poll. We had a poll request. I'm trying to go back through the chat and see what that was. Rock and Zip, I'm feeling a big raise in Bitcoin this weekend. Darren said, haha, those that voted 25K don't understand. The only way I do that is an ABC correction, and that requires a fast run above 50 really soon. Since it's already double bottomed, it's highly unlikely. So there's a little technical analysis from Darren, why he believes we will not be revisiting 25, but we will be going up from here. Which is what I think. I think we're going up from here, and I think it's going to be a volatile year, but I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin. I haven't changed my mind at all this year, and I haven't seen anything happen so far this year with Bitcoin that changes my mind. In fact, there have been some things that's strengthened my belief in it, and one of the big ones was, one of the knee-jerk reactions to this initial banking situation was a flight to safety, and that included Bitcoin, which has never been included in that conversation prior to this. So, it's happening less and less of a correlation with, as the banks, because I think it's already priced in, but that was very encouraging. It's all been good this year. I mean, it's early. We're only a third of the way through the year. And last year, we had a nice run at the beginning of the year, and then the rest of the year was a nightmare. So, I'm definitely not calling it too soon here, but I am optimistic. I like the direction that we've headed in. I think we'll continue to go in the right direction. Having said that, volatility is real in cryptocurrency, so we'll get our pullbacks. But to me, those are buying opportunities, and that's what I did. So that's what I did today. Today, I bought Iris Energy, stock ticker IREN, and that is a new position. So that's another new position for me in 2023. So I've added I've added WULF, and I've added now Iris Energy. Any is Sphere 3D. That's a very small nano cap stock. WULF is comparable in size to Iris Energy, so those are the ones I've added in 2023. And Stronghold. Sorry, I forgot. Stronghold. So I've been diversifying my Bitcoin portfolio. In 2022, I really shrank the number of Bitcoin miners. I didn't even necessarily pull back on the amount I was investing, other than the fact that it was going down. But I tried to go what was, in my opinion, best of breed during the crypto winter, but I think we're out of that winter, and I think some of these other stocks are going to be gives some more upside opportunity. You know, Riot and Marathon. Riot is my biggest holding, and, you know, it's already ran up so much that I don't mind allocating. You know, I'm not going to add to that position anymore. It's already my biggest position, and it's gone up massively. So, and I'm in the green on it. So there's still some positions I'm not yet in the green on. I'm still in the red on Bitfarms. I'm still in the red on HUT. So, but I think there's opportunity. And so today, when Iris was down, I bought Iris at $3.38 today, and that was not the low on the day. So it's not like, you know, I got lucky and grabbed it at the low, but I bought it at $3.38. It closed at $3.73. So you can see that's just a half a day. But let's go to that chart. Drop in the comments. So did anybody else jump in on this Iris trade? Somebody earlier, I think, mentioned that they got in as well at or near the bottom. So, I mean, this got down to $3.22 today. So I got it at $3.38. So, you know, I didn't hit the bottom, but I'm satisfied with that. And, you know, it closed way up from where I bought it. And that's just one day. I think it's going to continue. You can see, even with all that, it's only a $219 million market cap company. They are at 5.5 exahash right now. They mined 319 Bitcoin. They were up 85% month over month, more than 100% in revenue month over month. And they're going to have a good month next month, it would appear. So they, you know, they still got to execute the month of May, but unless they fall off track, it's going to be another very good month, in my opinion. And to me, if we're to give out most valuable player, most improved player, I think Iris Energy in the month of April will get both of those awards from me, in my opinion. I mean, they are clearly the most improved player. They were up 85% month over month just from number of Bitcoin mined when everybody, you know, right a few minutes after they announced, Core Scientific announced, well, their production was down 20% this month versus last month. So I'm just going to, where did those go? Here. So, okay, so Core Scientific announces April 2023 production. You'll see produced 1,126 self-mined Bitcoin. I'm going to go to last month's. So March produced 1,410. So that's a full 20% that their production fell month over month. Now, every company was a little different, but most of these companies were between, you know, 10 and 20% lower in April than they were in March. You know, a lot of that has to do with the difficulty level, which went up several times in a row. So it really, the April difficulty level was an all-time high. So if you weren't growing your exahash, your numbers were going down. And Core Scientific was actually shrinking their exahash. So, you know, in addition to that, you know, with a combination of all of that, their production was down 20%. But there's others that were down 15%. So tough month. April was a tough month. If you look, Marathon mined over 100 less than they mined last month. Riot mined like 60 less than they mined last month. CleanSpark, same thing. Bitfarms was down about 40 month over month. Cipher was very, very close. They were down, but they were close. Hive was down, but they were close. Terawulf might have been up like a few. And then Iris went from 173 to 319. I mean, so they raced up this list.
Who was the biggest one down from the month before? What percentage was?
I think it might have been, it might be Marathon.
So even though HUT or Marathon is what I was going to say.
Well, HUT we don't know. So HUT I have to reserve judgment on because they have not put out their monthly operational report yet. But they were so low. This 131 represents already an unbelievably low number for them. So I'm not sure it's going to get that much worse than that, but we will see.
And they have a market cap of, hang on.
They have a big market cap, but remember, they have 9,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet.
9,900.
Yeah, I mean, they're rolling in Bitcoin. So they have a very, very strong balance sheet. They're kind of a different, and there's a lot of, that's the thing. There's a lot of different equations at work here. You know, everybody's come at this a little bit different way.
415,000.
415 million market cap.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so see, I mean, they're not quite, but they're almost double Iris Energy. Now,
297.
their balance sheet is much, much, much stronger, but they're mining much, much less. So, which I expect to change after the merger, obviously. If the merger ever happens, we don't know. That's not a done deal. Mr. J, when they own the information, they can bend it all they want. I guess that's a quote from John Mayer. I'm just catching up, everybody, in the chat. Fell behind. Ryan said, Iris in all capitals. Iris is excellently managed. So I love what they did. They made some great, great moves. Again, I did do a deep dive on them today. If you have time after this stream or anytime tonight or over the weekend, it's worth checking out because they have a very interesting story over the last 8 or 10 months. They are a dramatically different company right now than they were, and in my opinion, dramatically better. Tim is saying Mara has already mined more than 260 Bitcoin in May. So I've been seeing on their pool, and a lot of people have been talking about the fact that they have started out May big time. So let's see if that continues, because that is drastic improvement over April. So was April an anomaly? Because March was 825. April went down, I think, to like 702. And I may be off by 1 or 2. I'm just trying to remember these off the top of my head. But so, they're on pace. I mean, that's on pace to do, much, much more than that, right? That's on pace to do way over 1,000 this month. So I don't know that they'll keep that pace up for the whole month. But at the amount of exahash they have, they really should be mining over 1,000 Bitcoin per month. Their mining efficiency was the lowest out of everybody in the month of April. So I did say you can also, I did a deep dive a couple of days ago on Marathon. If you want to check that out, I went through this in detail, but I showed that really the amount of exahash that they have operational, forget the exahash, they have 3.9 exahash past that that's set up ready to be energized. So forget that. They have 14 exahash that's operational, and they're mining only 700 Bitcoin. So, that's way, way low versus where they should be. So it looks like maybe in May, let's see if they can keep pace. But it seems like sometimes they get their pace and then they lose their pace. They did specifically say in their operational update in the month of May, I'm sorry, for the month of April, they specifically said they got unlucky in April. And luck is a factor. You can check the link on their press release, and there's a link to explaining how luck is a factor. But for those of you who know how this works, it's fairly obvious. So they just simply got unlucky. And the thing is, the smaller scale you are, the more likely you are to get unlucky. So they need to scale up. If they were at their full 23 exahash, the chances of them getting, quote, unlucky in a month would be much, much lower. It's just a probability thing. So there's always going to be outliers. Let's see. Steven, try again to get the CEO from CleanSpark. That man is smart. I know. I got to get back onto my interviews. I've fallen off of my interviews. I was interviewing, and I haven't talked to anybody in a little while. So I'd like to, it's been long enough. I'd like to talk to most of these guys again. CleanSpark, and so that, CleanSpark and Terawulf are at the top of my list as far as which people I'm going to talk to next. But there's definitely others past that. I think George just went in the dark. He's on a call. So I'm going to switch off of George mode, but if and when he comes back and finishes that call, I'll bring him back. Tim is saying they're on pace to beat Core Scientific. So, and Core Scientific reported they're down to, I think, 14.8 exahash. So they continue to lower the amount of exahash that's operational. So, it wouldn't be unrealistic to think that Marathon could mine more than Core Scientific, in May, and if not May, then maybe in June. But the way they're off and running, if they keep that pace, they're very likely to beat Core Scientific. That would be huge. Core Scientific has mined the most every single month. Now, they're in Chapter 11, so I do not include them in my top 10 because, we're trying to trade stocks here. So a stock in Chapter 11 is, there's variables outside of our control, so it really doesn't matter operationally what they're doing. It's all going to go towards paying their way out of Chapter 11. But having said that, they have been the number one amount of Bitcoin mined every single month, for the last year plus, and it's not even close. At one point, they were, actually for like 6 months, they were at least double the second place. At one point, they were triple the second place. So a lot of companies have done a lot to catch up. George is out of black screen mode, but he's not quite back on the stream yet. Darren's asking, new poll, will gold ever be under 2,000 ever again? Wesley, I am on Twitter, but I've been so inactive. I got to get active on Twitter. I know. I got to get my schedule put together. I need my... But I am on Twitter. Sometimes I'll go like 15 days in a row using Twitter, and then I'll go 10 days in a row without using it. And that, that's not how it's supposed to work. Sour Melon Gaming said, Fred needs to keep the machines on all month for them to beat Core. He fails at this every month. Many strong starts to the month, then turns the machines off. So that's why we will wait and see. You're right, Sour Melon Gaming. They're and then sometimes right before the end of the month, it seems like they turn them back on again and have a big day or 2 or 3 days to close out the month. So in the past, they've been all over the place. We'll see if they can put a strong month together, and the more machines they get up and running and the longer this goes on, the better they should get at what they do theoretically. So I do think there's better months ahead for them. I'm optimistic on Marathon, believe it or not. I'm not saying they're the number one Bitcoin mining company or anything like that, but they have a few things I'm worried about. Again, I did do a deep dive, so if you want to know, I pointed out 2 or 3 things in specific that I'm worried about with them, but I also give credit where credit is due. They've made massive strides. Welcome back, George.
Sorry. Part of life.
Darren wants to do a new poll. Is gold ever going under 2,000 ever again?
Yes.
Well, let's see what people think.
Hang on, let's see. It's at 216 right now. It's been plummeting.
So
I don't get any of these games. Like, I thought Bitcoin would have taken off sooner than it took off. You know what I mean?
Like sooner, like a year ago, or
like just a few months ago. I mean, a few weeks ago. Like, when everything happened, it just doesn't make any sense to me how it just didn't move up to be stronger.
Well, it ran up. We got a double. We did get a double from the bottom, but it definitely stalled out. And, we've been consolidating for a while now. So we're not quite back to that. I think that 30,900 mark was the double from the bottom. So we're not quite back to that. But I feel like this is the run. I think this is it. And we just voted 35,000's next.
Oh, I think that's a given.
So it's just a matter of when.
It is just a matter of when.
I'm going to say this a different way.
I don't have anything of value to say, so. Did you see that comment?
No. What is...
Somebody said, did you see... You realize George has nothing to value to say? And I'm like, I kind of agree with him. I'm nothing. So if I don't have anything of value to say, I'm not saying anything at all.
That's not the saying. It's if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. It doesn't.
I came up with a good comment today.
Whether you have anything of value is a matter of opinion.
Yeah, isn't that? Yeah, I know. Opinion. What was I going to say? I came up with it.
Will gold stay over 2,000 for the rest of the year? Let's start with that. We won't say forever.
No way.
Well, we're going to vote on it. We'll see what we're going to let the people speak. Mark, I have been buying the dip. I've entered some new positions in 2023, and I feel like I've gotten in at some of the right times. We've had some. I feel like the subscribers and members have shared a lot of success stories this year with stocks that we did get in on at the right time so far. You know, there's a lot of, game's not over.
I forgot who it was, but somebody was thanking you, Tom, saying like he would have got out a couple weeks ago, but he found your channel and he stuck with it.
Oh, well, see, I'm glad. That is what we're here for. So I know, it's not financial advice, but we're sharing as much information as we can.
It wasn't Chris. Chris kind of thinks what I think, so.
What does Chris think?
Chris Dominator? Dominator.
Chris Dominator. Isn't he a big marathon fan, if I'm remembering correctly?
Yeah, he is. But
what do you and Chris think?
No, he was just saying that he thinks that it's going to be very interesting with the price of Bitcoin.
Well,
but he thinks that, I don't think he thinks we're going to get to 42. I think he thinks, it's kind of already out.
That we will not get to 42 this year.
Yeah. Which I don't know. The problem is, where do you go when when you know the fiat dollar is in trouble?
All we can do on the price of Bitcoin in the short term is speculate and guess. I mean, by the way, that's what everybody else is doing. There's nobody that knows what the answer is. We can put as many of these pieces of the puzzle together as possible. We can use our best judgment. And, I try to do as much research as I possibly can. That's my, that's my personality. So I'm a big research person, and I like to look at the fundamentals. And sometimes the fundamentals don't help you, on a day-to-day basis, but I think they help long-term. But I also look at the technicals a lot as well. And, you got to try and, gauge the temperature and which way the wind is blowing. So it's a lot of stuff. So sometimes you're right, sometimes you're not right. And sometimes you're right in the long term, but you had to, go through a lot of pain in the short term to get there. So
when is the next chance for the government to raise rates? Is it in July or June?
Let me go to that right now. Because this changed today. I'm glad. Thanks for bringing that up, because this is something I wanted to talk about. This changed a little bit.
Wait a second. So that was useful information?
That was highly useful. Thank you,
okay,
George,
you're
for
welcome.
your usefulness.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure it was useful.
And useful. So the next meeting is June 14th, 2023. And what I want to point out on here, it's a little clearer down here if you guys can see this. Although you can't see, I gotta move the screen over. So now, which is today, they're pricing the market is pricing in the futures market is pricing in a 96.1% chance of no rate hike at the next meeting. So let me see, how do I figure out how to get this so you guys can see it? Give me a second. Let me see if I can get creative. Aha! Okay, so this was yesterday. Look at yesterday. The market was pricing in a 0% chance of a rate hike. Not only for this meeting, but I went through all the meetings for the next year. The market yesterday was pricing a 0% rate hike from this day forward. And it was predicting a rate decrease prior to the end of the year, which I'm guessing it still is predicting, although this has moved off of 0% chance. We are now at 3.9% chance, in the futures. And, this is just, again, this is a guess as much as anything else. So, all right. So, you want to look at the next month and see?
I do. I kind of want to know.
George, this gold thing is way closer than you think.
What do you mean?
The vote on gold over 2,000. Everybody, if you haven't voted yet, voting's free. Will gold stay over $2,000 for the rest of the year? While you're at it,
what is it, like 50-50 or something like that? Or
it's pretty close. It's not 50-50, but it's close.
Well, I mean, if it was solid, if it was 2025 or something like that.
Well, it was earlier today.
I know. I would think that, it's not going below 2,000. But then you start seeing it go to, 216. And I mean, it's not high enough yet to say it's going to stay above 2,000.
There's fast moves, but if I were to rephrase it, other than, let's say, a flash to the downside, do you think it's going to be over 2,000 for the rest of the year? So, in other words, if there's a day where it gets to 1,980, other than that, basically, are we at 2,000 from here forward for by and large and for the most part?
No, I just, and there's just too many things right now. You got to admit, 23 has been a crazy year already. I mean, we've lost 3 of the largest banks failures, right? I mean,
3 of the 4 largest bank failures in U.S. history.
And it already surpassed 2008.
Yes.
And I don't think we're over. I don't think we're done, even though somebody else said we were done.
Well, there's some people that bought some PacWest stock today that disagree with you because it was up 81.7%.
No.
I cannot imagine buying a stock. How do you buy? Who bought this last share and said, you know what, it's up 81%. I got to get into PacWest. It just boggles my mind. And that doesn't mean it's not going to go up from here. That person might be right. This could go up double again before it crashes.
It went up $1. It went up 1.91% after hours. So,
yeah, you never know. But to me, that's by the time you're up 81.7% in a day, you are chasing. That's FOMO. You're chasing. Just on general principle alone, I would not do that.
But can you imagine though? It just blows my mind if that was all FUD. About, PacWest. Do you think that was all FUD?
No, I think that there's several of these banks that if there's not, that's why I think there's going to be, they're going to lower rates prior to the end of the year. They're going to start having some quantitative easing. The Fed bank window is going to open because the banks need that to happen, or there's going to continue to be, some of these mid-sized banks that bought a lot of longer-term treasuries are in trouble.
Tom, the real estate market in Atlanta is still, I wouldn't say it's soft. I would say it's decent. You know what I mean? It's hanging out. It's things are moving.
I know. Everything we think is about to fall apart, none of it's actually fallen apart
No,
yet.
That's what's so weird.
Right.
I would think that things would be, falling apart already, but they're not.
If you were to look, for instance, at YouTube, 9 out of 10 thumbnails are, the commercial market is crashing, the stock market is crashing, the sky is falling, everything. It's the end of there's 7 days, there's 100 different countdowns, 4 more days until you're going to lose all your money. It's like, I'm going to start just putting, by the way, so you can click on my videos and watch them. I'm just going to make that my thumbnail from now on because all those people get like 10 times the views. And
well, misery loves company, I think.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna make a conscious change on the channel. We'd like to be more miserable.
We just want to win.
We're not going to be more miserable. Both George and I, if you guys haven't figured out by now, we call it like we see it, and it is what it is. Doesn't mean we're right, and a lot of times we disagree with each other, but Ed is asking, do you think Bitfarms will reverse split? Do you know how that would affect the call options? I do not think Bitfarms will do a reverse split. I think that is highly unlikely. That they may, and I don't even know what day that vote ends. They may even get themselves the right to do a reverse split, which I would be in favor of. I would vote to be in favor of giving the board the flexibility to do a reverse split all the way up to a 1-to-10 consolidation. I don't want them to do it, but giving them the right to do it could, that's in my mind, that's enough to make sure that it never happens. I think there's more of a chance of them having to do a reverse split if they don't give them that right. That would make me more nervous as a shareholder. So either way, I don't think there's any realistic chance of that happening either which way. I know it's a topic. I know they're voting on it. I don't know the results. I don't even know when that vote is over. Let us know. If anybody knows the answer to that, let us know in the chat, if you would, please, when that vote is finalized.
Where are we now in the gold?
Still very close. If you have not voted,
nobody really cares about that. Only 38 people have voted.
Well, yeah, it has. Oh man,
what?
Super as close as you can be without up, and we are now tied on the poll. So
I think people are screwing with us.
I don't know. We're tied, but you don't know which way.
What do you mean I don't know which way? We're tied.
I'm just making sure you're paying attention. If you're tied, you're tied.
You're tied, but I'm not going to tell you which way.
Let's see. Chuck said they also have 2 CPI reports to contribute to the next meeting. Right. At this point, I mean, if we have a bad CPI report, I suppose these probabilities are going to change, but I really do think that they've now set an expectation that they're not going to raise rates, that they're done. They didn't come out and say it. So if you watched everything Jerome Powell said, if you watched his press conference, if you read the press release, they did not say that. So, no promises were made, but they did fundamentally change their language. He made it a point to point out in the press conference that they fundamentally changed their language. And, ultimately, he's still going to say the same thing, which is, our decision is going to be data-driven. We want to see the data in between now and then. So right to your point, Chuck, CPI is going to be some of the important data that they're going to look at. So, if that's a nightmare, maybe the rate hike is back on. I did think prior to this meeting, I thought there was a 50-50 chance there would be one more rate hike after the one we just got. But after listening to what he said and seeing the market's interpretation, but this wouldn't be the first time the market's wrong.
But all of a sudden, too, we have a good jobs report. And that's not good for not raising rates. Yeah.
We have a shocking, I believe that was referred to as a shocking jobs report.
It is shocking. It's shocking that people believe it.
That's right.
But it's crazy. We're getting some Fubo. Did you see FUBO? Killed earnings, which triggered institutional buying today, and now they are a 97 short squeeze score.
I want to look at them because I did not look at them today, but I follow them pretty closely.
Are you still in them or no?
No. Yeah, see, this is a mistake. I'm this is Not financial advice. I after looking at this right now, and I love Fubo.
He loved. I mean, he loved it. He was a nut for Fubo for the longest time.
I love Fubo.
Right.
I think they have a great service. The streaming thing's been such an absolute nightmare disaster for every single participant. Fubo is no exception, and their problem is they're running out of money. I mean, the math just is not there. So I'm going to actually look at the puts tonight. And, obviously now I can't make a trade until Monday, but up 31%, I will look at puts on Fubo. Let's just see if there's any volume, if that's even. So there is. So look at this. Now, this is May 5th, so that was today, so that doesn't count. Wow, this gets a lot of this. They got weekly puts with massive volume. So a $1.50 put is down 67% today. I'm backing up the truck. And that's for next Friday, and that's how much I think this is going to reverse itself.
Why?
I could be wrong. It could still have more squeeze to go to the upside before it fixes itself. Because if you go to their financial statements, you will see they don't have any money. And the reason companies go out of business is because they don't have any money. And it is unlikely they're going to get their share price to a point where dilution is going to help them raise the money that they need. Right? They're still, even after 31%, they're only at $1.47. So this puts them at a $429 million market cap. They need to raise $400 million. So, in my opinion, obviously these are my personal views on Fubo. Everybody disagreed with me today. It's up 31%. And I would expect this probably was a lot of people covering their short positions. And there could be, so from a technical standpoint, yeah, maybe there's a huge short squeeze still ahead, and this could run up even further. But the more this ran up, the more I would be willing. I will not short. I don't short anything. So for those of you who don't know, I just don't short anything ever. I do buy puts though. So, that's taking a short position without actually going short.
So, I mean, you're that confident on that?
If you do a deep dive, and I've read Fubo's financial statements up and down quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter. I love what they do, but the math doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It still costs them more per prescriber. Maybe if they release today, maybe they finally flipped that equation, but the fact that they're still trying to work, they don't have any gross profit, never mind net income. Their cost per year, because they got to pay for this content, right? So people pay for their service, but they have to pay to provide all this sports content that they provide. And, they're paying more than they're getting paid. So, I mean, that's a simple equation. Maybe that flipped this time from a gross profit standpoint. So I have not looked at this earnings report. So, maybe there's some shocking change in this earnings report. They topped revenue estimates, which doesn't mean anything to me. Let's just take a quick look. I'll sidetrack us for a minute and take a quick look.
Teach us, Obi-Wan. Teach us.
Okay, so let's see. The core. It was expected the company would post a loss of 76 cents per share. It actually produced a loss of 48 cents per share, delivering a surprise. So it's a surprise to the upside. They lost less than we thought they were going to lose. But what I want to see is, did they have gross profit? Posted revenue of $324 million for the quarter. See, none of that. This is the wrong article I'm reading. That's not telling me what we need to know. And I'm not going to go too much deeper into this because I know only a portion of you may even care about this at all. But I might do, if I find some stuff, I might do a video on this next week.
It's about making money, Tom.
Yeah, that's the bottom line.
It's about making money.
Rest of the world.
No, I'm getting summons to leave.
Oh.
No.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, I'm okay. I'm okay.
You good? You got some time?
I'm thinking Mexican. It's Cinco de Mayo.
It's Cinco de Mayo. That's right. So I'm going to have to dig into the details of this later. There's 2 or 3 key things I'm looking for. I'm going to do a video on Fubo. So.
Are you up for some Mexican tonight, Tom?
Sure.
You're not. Oh.
Sounds like that's out.
That's out.
So Sourmelon Gaming is asking me, Tom, when would you sell your mining stocks if Bitcoin stayed at these levels into the halving? I mean, if Bitcoin is in the $25,000 to $30,000 range, and the year is 2024, I'll probably be, at a bare minimum, hedging my bets with some puts or just getting out altogether. So that's not that long from now. And I don't think there's a realistic chance that's going to happen. Obviously, there's a chance it's going to happen. Anything's possible. But I will start to hedge my bets somewhere in January of 2024, and I'll probably, if it literally gets through the halving and we're still at 29,000, I think you're going to see these stocks are all going to be, sell them, don't sell them. They're not going to be worth anything anyway at that point, in my opinion.
Well, that's sad. There was another thing we didn't talk about that was kind of got my attention this week. My small brain. And that was a tax of 30% on Bitcoin miners.
Yes, a proposed 30% tax. So Biden reiterated this week that he would like there to be a 30% tax on the energy used by Bitcoin miners. So the Bitcoin mining company, if they buy energy, would have to pay a 30%. Now, that will phase in over 3 years under their plan. So it'll be 10%, 20%, 30%. And that's a tax on the energy that they use. So effectively, that would raise their cost per coin to mine Bitcoin if they were having to pay this tax. That is proposed. It's not the first time they've talked about it, but they made it a point to reiterate this week that that's what they would like to have happen. I think that is an unbelievably unlikely scenario.
Why?
I can't rule it out, but I don't. They don't have the votes for it right now, so I know it's not going to happen right now. Will that change? I don't know. It's just fundamentally a stupid thing to do. So now, having said that, would that be the first stupid thing Congress did?
So does that have to be does that have to be voted on?
Yes, it's a tax. Congress holds the purse strings, so that is a proposed tax, and I just don't see it happening. But there's no guarantees. All these things you don't know. If it does happen, then Texas is in for a world of misery, because their energy grid is now reliant on Bitcoin. And if they charge them 30% tax on the energy, they're going to be moving out of there, and they're going to have a problem.
Would they leave?
Would
the
you?
States? I mean, of course I would.
I mean, if my number one cost, which was the vast majority of my cost, the state was just going to tax me on, but nobody else. Yeah, I would leave. Not this, and when I say the state, it's actually the federal government that's proposing this tax. It's just FUD. It's FUD that stands out there. Whether it happens or it does not happen, it is hanging over Bitcoin's head because it is being talked about. It's making the news on a regular basis, and that's not the last time. Even if it never happens, they'll probably talk about this 50 more times. So all of that is downward pressure on Bitcoin. 30K Bitcoin this weekend is asking Austin. That's what we're pulling for. We were hoping 30K on the live stream, but we are going sideways here. So I guess we already had our double Bitcoin pump today, here and here. So we got, you know, this straight up this morning, but we got, well, from here we got up. So two moves to the upside, and a very strong day, and a very green day on Bitcoin miners. And Sour Melon Gaming, I don't want you to think I'm getting ready to sell my stocks. I really don't think that's a realistic scenario. And I think, you know, I'll revisit that as we get closer if that's becoming a reality. And I do think maybe the first thing I would do is start to buy puts. But I don't, you know, I think those are grim scenarios. And I remain bullish on Bitcoin, so I don't think I'm going to have to make those decisions. But you never know.
That would be, let's do that. That'd be interesting to do. Ziggs just said, how about a video about selling puts on FUBO?
Buying or selling? I'm thinking about buying puts.
Well, he probably would be like me, you know.
I mean, we can talk about buying them and selling them.
I'm confused anytime you talk about puts and whatever, calls. I think the other side call it puts and calls. I want to say, I won't say my next statement.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. We're already half shadow banned.
51 votes. So what happened?
All right, let's call it. Let's call it. In a shocking turn of events, I'm going to end the poll, and you will see that 54% of people think that gold is over 2,000 to stay for the rest of the year. 45% said no. And I will tell you, no was winning from a time standpoint. No was up in this poll for 95% of the poll.
I think
and now, just as it closed
people
here,
got confused by the way you wrote the question.
You think so?
Yeah.
Will gold stay over $2,000 for the rest of the year?
Nobody reads.
I mean, that's not on how I wrote it. If they didn't read it, that was very close. I did not expect that to be close at all. I thought most people would say no on that. I don't know where gold is going. You know.
Yes, you do.
I honestly, I do think it's a safe play. If people are worried, I think whether it's going to go to 2,000 or 10,000 or whatever the case may be, you know, I don't see it crashing. Even if it has a pullback, I think it's always a safe play. You know, that's not where you put your high risk trade on. That's the flight to safety. So, you know, conventional wisdom is own some gold. Used to always have 10% of your money in gold, but I don't really know that anybody does that. I don't. KDB said, "Is buying CleanSpark now FOMO?" So, let's pull up that chart. Fair question. I'm already going to answer no, but it's a fair question. And the reason I'm going to answer no is you're going to see CleanSpark on April 18th, so 2 weeks ago, CleanSpark was over $5. It's at $4.20 right now. The narrative has not changed on CleanSpark. So, you know, if Bitcoin can do its thing and get back to 30 or 31,000, to me, $5 is just the beginning for these guys. The last time Bitcoin was at 25,000, so you guys know, most of you may know by now, or if you're new to the channel, on every single one of these charts, I have a blue line. That was in February of 2023 when Bitcoin hit 25,000. The last time Bitcoin hit 25,000 was in August of 2022. So I have a green line there for each Bitcoin miner. So back in August of 2022, when CleanSpark was a much, much, much smaller company, when Bitcoin was at 25,000, not the 29,500 it's at right now, CleanSpark was at almost $7. So to me, You know, that's a 63% upside. Well, let's do a little more.
But,
yeah. Go ahead, George.
But could it be because they've been selling more stock?
They have stock dilution, but in exchange for that stock dilution, see, this is the part that I think is the most important part. Understanding whether or not stock dilution is accretive is crucial because there's different kinds of stock dilution. If
what did you just say?
Accretive. Is it accretive? Is it adding its value or more? So
you did what in your cup? Sorry, I've never even heard that word before. Say it one more time.
It's simply just means, are they getting value? So they sold shares and they raised money. What'd they do with the money? Did they give it as bonuses? That is not improving the company, right? Nobody would even debate that. Oh, they bought a yacht with it. That's not improving the company. Oh, they paid for operations because
are we talking about FTX?
You know, did they need to raise the money because they're cash flow negative and they have to pay for operations this month? That's not accretive. They may need to do it. It's not making the company better. It's keeping them from going out of business. Or did they buy Bitcoin mining machines, increase their exahash, become a bigger, better company that's going to make more money in the future? So if that's the reason that they sold stock and got cash, if that's what they did with their cash and they're executing that plan, to me, that's how I judge. That's what I want companies to do. So I won't say almost always because that's not true. It's absolutely hit or miss, but some of the best opportunities that I have found in the history of trading stocks are usually when there's a dilution announced, and they have an at-the-market offering, so, you know, it's a slow trickle, but this stock is definitely suppressed because there's a perception that they're massively diluting. So whenever there's a dilution announced, I judge what are they going to do with that, and very oftentimes the stock almost always has a knee-jerk negative reaction to a dilution. So if they dilute 10%, the stock goes down 10%. Well, that doesn't make any sense unless they plan on burning the money, right? That would be the only reason there would be that one-to-one correlation for the stock to go down 10% in my mind. So I usually view that as a buying opportunity. So I'll buy. That's when I make a lot of my buys. Now, not every single dilution is a buying opportunity because, like we just talked about, you know, if they had to dilute to just pay for operations, like that's where Fubo's at. They're diluting so that they can pay for operations because they are out of money. So, you know, that stock dilution is different. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be doing it. I'm just saying you got to calculate from a valuation standpoint. You got to view that differently, in my opinion. So to me, I would not say CleanSpark is FOMO at this point. That's my personal opinion. You got to obviously do your own due diligence and make up your own buying decisions, which I know you guys do. But I'm still expecting I think that's my second largest position. So if that's an indication.
Really? So when would you look to get rid of it?
I mean,
$7-8?
Yeah, I'm not looking to get rid of this anytime soon. I'm expecting CleanSpark to move up significantly from here, and then I may start selling calls when it gets to a certain point. I still probably won't sell the stock because I think this stock has not begun its journey up. This has a long way up to go. Now, I understand a lot of people want to make those trades because Bitcoin is so volatile. This may go up and down and up and down and up and down, even if it's going to get from $4 to $20, there may be a lot of movement in the middle. So, you know, I don't catch all of that movement. Sometimes I just ride it out and you know, get there the long way. But, you know, for the swing traders or day traders, there's a lot of money to be made in the middle. So KBD is saying, but CleanSpark has already made a 2x. Yes, but that's nothing compared to what a lot of the other Bitcoin miners have done. Let me see if I can find... Oh, I don't think I opened that chart. There's Bitcoin miners that just since January 1st of 2023 have 3x'd, 4x'd, 5x'd, or 6x'd. So, you know, the fact that CleanSpark has doubled, to me, is not a big deal. That really still puts them behind the vast majority of the performance of the rest of the Bitcoin miners in the year 2023. QWERTY is saying $25, start to look at selling. Bashar is saying fair target to me is $54 for CleanSpark. Keith is saying I'm holding CleanSpark until $60. So just to put it in perspective, there's a bunch of people's thoughts, not financial advice, but you know, there's several different opinions, and we got a bunch of price targets that are higher than where we are right now by a lot. How about the simplest poll? Who made money this week?
Tom, I'm going to take off.
All right,
see
George.
Everybody.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Go Bitcoin.
All right. Talk to you. That's it for George. All right, last poll. So obviously you don't have to disclose any personal information, just a generic vote. Who made money in the market this week? Was this a good week for everybody? Was this a mixed bag? What happened? What happened this week for everybody? Obviously, the Bitcoin miners today had a great day. So tomorrow I will do my update where I show what all the Bitcoin miners did over the course of the week and what they've done year to date and a bunch of other charts. So I do that every weekend. For those of you who don't know, you can check that video out over the weekend. Darren is saying, I'm holding CleanSpark till November of 2024, then a small percentage each week, completing sales in April of 2025. So you're going to average out from November of 2024 till April of 2025. And that's, I presume, when you think we'll start to head back into the next down cycle, bear market, and or crypto winter, if you will. KDB, like, how do you think Bitfarms will look in the future? Much higher value. I mean, I will tell you this, opinions vary greatly on Bitfarms. I'm bullish on Bitfarms. I think it's about to make a run up. But again, you know, for me, it's not financial advice. It's just my opinion. So, but if you follow the channel, you'll know. And if you watch my deep dives, you'll see why I think that. I kind of go through my thought process. So, you know, you can take it for what it's worth. I'm bullish on Bitfarms. I like what they're doing. I think they've greatly improved their company over the course of the last 6 or 8 months. That's what I'm looking at. Are they a better company? I mean, the price of Bitcoin's going up, right? We've clearly bottomed. We're very near a double from the bottom. So if the price of Bitcoin's going up and the company is improving financially, operationally, all of those things put together, to me, say, you know, there should be upside to the stock. So Keith is saying Bitfarms, in his opinion, Bitfarms has a lot of upside. Sour Melon Gaming, do you think Bitfarms $10 is doable if Bitcoin breaks new highs? So my personal price target, that's what it would be. You know, if Bitcoin can break through its all-time high, it doesn't have to get to 100,000, but if it can break through its all-time high, I think Bitfarms should be plus or minus at $10 in my opinion. You know, if it ends up at 7, I don't know. That's what's very hard to tell. The timing on all this is hard to tell, the when and if, but yeah, I think that's a reasonable long-term price target. Keith is saying yes, he agrees as well. All right, what did we miss? What else did I have to go through? Just to take a peek, we haven't looked at this in a long time, but it's worth looking at. You know, maybe you guys have been looking at it, but I haven't checked it out on the channel. We're now into greed, but you can see we're at the very, very low end of greed. So I don't really consider this greed, but technically on the Fear and Greed Index, this is the cryptocurrency Fear and Greed Index. We are now into greed. We spent eternity in fear, or what I call extreme fear, although technically that's not a classification, but we were under 10 on this index for an extended period of time for the first time in the history of this index, which is only about 5 years old. So, you know, it's not that long, but if we look, so it seems like, hey, when you look at this, this must be like the 3-month. It seems like we've been at 60 forever, but you'll see we were down less than 1 year ago. We were at 6 on the Fear and Greed Index. And this little time period right here, you'll see all these days under 10. That's never happened before. This is the only time. So that is why I believe June was the bottom. And I know from a price standpoint, we actually did get, we flash crashed in June down to 17.5. We did get below that with the FTX situation. We actually got oversold to the point where we were down to around 15,500. But from a technical standpoint, this was the peak fear. This seemed to be, you know, the RSI was the most oversold. All indicators were here in July that this was the bottom. We had a short-term event and a crisis, if you will, with FTX that we thought was going to potentially be a contagion and spread throughout. But once that got quantified, you know, it took about 2 months to settle itself. And now we're back up here where we haven't been. But I'm going to go to the max because you'll see this is not where a bull run takes place. This is not a bull run. This is a bull run. 94. 94. 88. 86. 92. So to me, you know, you're at the peak of the bull run. Once you start to get over 80 on the Fear and Greed Index, to me, that's when you should be averaging out or taking profits or whatever the case may be. And if you want to start at 75, like, you know, here this time we only got, where'd this get up to? 78, 79. So it's still got over 80, but, you know, so you can see all these times those were the selling opportunities. When this thing peaks between 80 and 90, typically that's been time to sell. So obviously, you know, no indicator is right 100% of the time, but we are clearly, you can see the direction this is going in. We are moving towards a bull market, in my opinion. So I think the best is ahead of us still. Having said that, of course, a lot of volatility, but I do think the best is ahead. Let's just take a look at the Bitcoin chart. We're going sideways. So we're at 29,534. I'm going to wrap it up. It looks like we only had 20 votes on if we made money this week. 80% of the people said yes. We did not get anywhere near our 100 likes for whatever reason. But that's all right. 81 likes. Thank you to the 81 people who smashed the like button. Much appreciated. Thank you to all the members who are on the live stream today. Thank you for your support. It makes a big, big difference. So thanks a lot for that. And thanks to all the subscribers. And thanks to everybody for viewing in and spending some time with us. I always enjoy the live streams. We do a live stream, free live stream every single Friday after the market closes. So if you're new to the channel, we're here every week after the market closes on Friday. And we do a members-only live stream every Tuesday after the market closes. I also have been doing a couple other live streams at least per week. So I'm trying to nail down a schedule, but you know, it seems like interest ebbs and flows. So I'm having trouble getting a pulse on what the interest level is for that. But we'll get it straightened out. In the meantime, everybody have a fantastic weekend. I hope all you guys made some money this week and enjoy the weekend. Go Bitcoin, and you will see some videos from me over the weekend.